Well, you may think the Apple iPod success is due to its innovative technology. Well, our next guest says the iPod's success, in fact, is really due to the business model behind it. Faisal Hoque, CEO of the business technology management firm BTM in Stanford, says the same theory applies to all businesses and how they implement technology as part of their overall corporate strategy. He's written about this in his brand new book, The Power of Convergence. And Faisal, good having you on the program.
Good to be here.
All right, explain to me, what is a converged company? What is that?
Sure. A definition of a convergence is that when you take a very innovative business model and you apply technology that usually pre-exist. So if you look at Apple, since we're talking about Apple,
that, yeah.
A lot of people think that it's their devices that made it very successful. Obviously, it's very well designed and whatnot, but what really propelled them is the business model behind the iTunes, how you buy music, how you buy content,
right?
iStore, and that's what really propelled it, right? So without that, you would have never become as successful. So here, even though you could have gotten music before or you could have gotten content before, it's not their device that made the whole company or their product line so successful. So that's a great example of convergence between business model, innovative business model, and utilization of pre-existing technology.
And some companies and people who run companies out there might be listening to this and say, I'm not a technology company, therefore this doesn't apply to me.
Sure.
And that philosophy and that thinking would be to their own peril, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure. I'll give you a very simple example, right? Let's say your job today is marketing, right? Imagine if you wanted to reach out to the people, and where do those people exist today? Many of them are online. Many of their lives revolves around online access, right? So if you're a traditional marketing person and you said, okay, here's the book and I'm going to design this great cover and whatnot, and that's all you did, that wouldn't be very effective, because you, as a marketing person, you will have to know how to reach those audience that are living and breathing online, and you have this social behavior where you're carrying all these devices like iPad and iPhone and other smartphones, and you're communicating via Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and other places. So as a marketing person, your job now is to chase down those people and establishing a connection via technology. So right there is a great example whereby as an individual, your job has changed versus what you used to do as a marketing person. Now, you can take that in a broader context, right? So that applies to individual, that applies to small company, that applies to large company, that applies to government agency. I mean, we just had this storm. Imagine if we didn't have that technological infrastructure to communicate with each other. We would be in a very different place.
But it's interesting. I feel like we've almost gotten to the point where people, the world itself, is almost hyper-connected.
Yes, over-connected.
It's over-connected.
Yes.
There are so many ways you could reach out.
Sure.
That a company really has to develop, I would think, a very focused strategy to achieve the best results for their corporation.
Absolutely, and that's why we call the power of convergence, right? There is in power of convergence, we also, in meaning this new book, we also talk about all the things that happens when you don't utilize technology properly, right? So it's not about chasing new technology, to your point, over-connected. Just because you can reach out to people via all these medium doesn't mean that's going to be the most effective situation for your particular business model or your particular venture that you're running or operating. So it's very important to figure out what is it that you're trying to do with your business, meaning what's your product, what's your customer, how you're trying to reach out to those people, and what's the most effective way to utilize technology. And technology can be a great enabler, but technology is not the answer. And we've seen this time and time again. You talked about Apple. Look at the HP's chase with their handheld device.
Yeah, their tablet.
So you're chasing, and,
right.
and that may not be a great strategy, because HP has traditionally been more of an enterprise company, not a consumer product company, right? So those kind of are a telltale sign of how to think about technology as an enabler, not as the answer.
How far ahead do you need to see? How futuristic do you have to be with your vision and thinking, all right, this is what consumers want, but this is what I think they will want,
sure.
and this is how our company can fulfill that,
sure.
to get ahead of your competition?
Look, I mean, there's no substitute for vision. You know, I mean, I think every company has been successful has proven that. And as a CEO or as a head of a company, you have to stick to your vision and materialize that. But that doesn't mean, now let's take it in a different context. Everybody's aspiration is not the same. Let's say you're a small to medium-sized company and you're trying to create jobs, like we have in Connecticut, a lot of these people, and you're trying to survive, right? So, and in that case, if you talk about technology or vision, all those things, they are an enabler to cut your cost and make you more effective. Everybody doesn't need to be Steve Jobs. Not everybody's going to be Steve Jobs. That doesn't mean that they don't create jobs and they don't
successful
thrive.
Company.
Exactly.
It's all in the power of convergence, and it's linking business strategies and technology decisions to create a sustainable success. Faisal, good having you on the program.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, Faisal Hoque. And that's all for this week. We'll see you next week on 12 on the Money. I'm Rebecca Saran.